Eating is a natural part of life. Humans need to eat to survive. In our case, food has never been a stress in our lives. Food, a simple, basic necessity, isn't so simple in the lives of everyone. Far too many Americans worry about when their next meal will be. It was shocking to find that so many people didn't have access to food. Everyone has to eat after all. Then we wondered if anything in Columbus, Ohio was taking place to prevent hunger. What happens to the food that doesn't sell in the store? Where do people who can't afford food go to eat? Where do our food scraps go when thrown in the trash can? These were questions that needed answers. Our expedition began by talking to one of the places we go to buy food, Kroger. Since grocery stores like Kroger are our main sources of food, we wondered what happened to the food that wasn't purchased before the expiration date. Turns out Kroger plays a major part in feeding the hungry.
Hunger is our #1 initiative at Kroger. We feed people on a daily basis out of our grocery store, so if we can help feed people through food banks and food pantries, that's important to us. Kroger has been partnering with the Mid-Ohio Food Bank since the 1980s. We have been huge supporters of the food bank ever since then. Kroger recently opened the Kroger Community Food Pantry at the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, so that's the first food pantry they'll be running out of the food bank. Year-round, our customers can round up their total at the checkout, and that extra change will be donated to the food bank. And then we also have Hunger Knows No Season, which is in November and December, where people can donate extra money during that time. This past year, we collected $115,000 to give to the Mid-Ohio Food Bank just in our Hunger Knows No Season. And then we also do a perishable donation. So we take our food, basically our meat, our dairy, our bakery, and then anything in our warehouse. We'll pull it off the shelf a day or two before it's going to expire. We'll flash freeze it while it's safe for consumption. We'll donate it to the food bank so they can get it out to the people who need it most.
We were able to go behind the scenes in the warehouse at the Mid-Ohio Food Bank. This is where all the donations are kept, sorted, and packaged for delivery. Volunteers play a huge role in helping the food bank operate.
Basically what our volunteers are going to do is they're going to go through each one of these boxes that has miscellaneous food in it and inspect it, make sure it's still good, not too far past an expiration date, or that the dent in the can doesn't compromise the product that's inside of it. Once it meets their inspection, they'll send it down the conveyor belt, and down at the end you'll have volunteers down there that are going to categorize everything for us. So just like in the meat room where we've got to put everything in the right category, we want to put canned vegetables with canned vegetables, and bottled water with bottled water, and snacks with snacks, and et cetera, so that it can go into our warehouse as particular items, so that when our agencies are ordering from us, they know exactly what they're going to get. So the way the warehouse is divided is we have our trucks that really dock and load and unload on this side, and then on the other side of the warehouse, way on the other end, a couple football fields away, we've got dock doors for our agencies that come and pick up from us. So a lot of our partner pantries will come to the food bank to pick up what they've ordered, and a lot will rely on us to deliver to them. It's about a 50-50 split. So our trucks are out there doing a couple of different things every day. They've got to go pick up donations from all the stores that we partner with, and they've got to drop off the orders at some of our agencies. So usually we have full trucks that go out in the morning and full trucks that come back later in the afternoon. We try to get our trucks out early in the day, so they're all on the road by about 7 o'clock, so they're not sitting in rush hour traffic. Likewise, we get them back before 5 o'clock, so they're not sitting in traffic wasting fuel, because again, we want to spend every dollar we get on food and not on the transportation costs and all of that. Last July and October, we did 150 different produce markets where we would work with our partner pantries to set up basically a farmer's market distribution like you'd see in a community farmer's market, except it was all free to the clients at that pantry. And they would come in and shop through. You'd have hundreds and hundreds of families shopping through the line in a couple of hours' time. And they would literally go through about 20,000 pounds of produce and take all of that home. And that would be, for the week for that family. It's great because it's whole, nutritious, fresh produce, and it's great stuff for them to have. And it's a great mechanism for us because a lot of our pantries don't have a big, huge refrigeration unit like this, so they can't store all of that produce. So they need to get it in and out in the same day. From last July through October, with the help of those markets and some other produce strategies we had, we distributed 6.6 million pounds of produce just in those 4 months. Really kind of at capacity. There's not a whole lot of empty space in the freezer. That means that we're getting a lot of that frozen meat products. I kind of view it as a good thing. We're going to have to expand this whole area, both the freezer and the refrigeration units, pretty soon, because we filled it all up with produce and dairy and frozen meat and all the nutritious, high-protein items that our families that rely on our pantries are requesting. From 2010 to 2011, we increased our distribution of all products by about 2 million pounds and decreased our waste in that same time period, which is great.
So now that we've seen the food go from the store to the food bank, where does it go from there? It travels to places like the Broad Street Food Pantry, right down the street from CCAD campus.
Every month we serve about 700 households. We provide them with a 5-day supply of food, staples, meat, fresh produce, fresh bread, dairy, and even a few household products like toilet paper or soap. When a client comes to us, we're a choice pantry, so they get to choose what kind of products they want, which is why it's great that we can offer a variety of things. The food we get, probably, I did a calculation last week, like 94% of it does come from Mid-Ohio Food Bank. So things like our lovely green beans came from Mid-Ohio. They buy them from a manufacturer who had far too many of them. They get them at a really, really good price, and I can buy them for like pennies on a kilo. They also do a great job in bringing us produce. They get overstocks of produce again that people can't use, and then they bring it out. They've done trucking rounds a couple times a week. We can go there 3 or 4 times a week and pick up produce, which is great because produce is one of the most expensive things. This is all bread. These were all overstocks. This is from Giant Eagle. We have people go to Panera, they get the leftover bread at the end of the night, they package it and they bring it in here, and then our clients can take it home. It's awesome for us because a lot of people don't realize this, but food pantries have a budget too. It would be nice if all this food was donated, but maybe about 10% of it is donated. These came from Kroger's. Kroger's wasn't able to sell it by the sell-by date, so what they do, they take it, they deep freeze it. Mid-Ohio has a truck that goes around and picks it up. They take it to their deep freeze and they store it there. They pack it in boxes where we can buy like 25 pounds at a time. We have volunteers from a lot of resources. A lot of people come from our own church because the food pantry is a mission of the Broad Street Presbyterian Church. We have a lot of students from Ohio State who volunteer. Also students from like Columbus State, other local colleges. A lot of high schools volunteer here. And then just some of our clients volunteer here too.
Now that we've seen how food gets circulated from the stores, to the food bank, to the food pantries, what about the food that we can eat and have to throw away? Is it just wasted, doomed to rot away in landfills? For that answer, we sought out Eartha Limited.
I started Eartha about 3 years ago after being an event planner for a number of years. I realized that large-scale events were not sustainable in any way. There were really no recycling programs put in place, especially no composting and compostable product programs. I was lucky enough to work at Super Bowl 43 and 44 to install environmental programs, and I realized that I'm one of the only people in the country doing so. I came home, I dropped out of school, I quit my job, I moved on to my parents' couch, which was a lot of fun, and went to work on a business plan. We had to work with SWACO, which is the Solid Waste Authority of Central Ohio, to really change some laws that would allow us to do these things. Food scrap was considered hazardous waste for a number of years, but we know as technology changes, regulation needs to also change. And I showed up for 8 months at every board meeting possible, at every meeting I could get to, until they changed the law. 8 months later, it didn't help a small up-and-coming business, but we've really been able to begin, and I think we've got a really strong foothold here in the community when it comes to hauling food scrap. Some days I'm driving a truck all day, I'm getting dirty, I'm playing garbage man. Other days I'm in the office, I don't leave my desk, while others I am in sales meetings all day. We collect the food scrap from institutions like CCAD and Ohio State. We take it into a Class 2 composting facility, which turns it into soil through their processes, and eventually they resell it back to the public. It's great to see that the community is wanting a program like this. this. We moved in here about a year and a half ago. I built this office with my bare hands. I moved everything in myself. I installed everything myself. This large contraption in the back corner is a baler. It is what we use to process recyclable material. What it basically does is it smashes everything. We put cardboard in there, we squash it until we have enough to make it to a large bale, which weighs about 1,500 to 2,000 pounds. We hold those until we have enough to load on a semi-truck, which we then sell on the open market. Glass right now is really bad. We ask Camas with the Calls to move in because they can use the glass that we have. We sell them back to restaurants and they sell them at retail locations, and they donate a portion of their proceeds to different charities around town. I really like Camas with the Calls. These are all plant-based products, and if we can come in here, as you can see, clear plastics are made out of what is called PLA. It's polylactic acid. It's made out of corn. What we have here are bagasse clamshells. These are sugarcane products. Excuse me, that they used to burn years ago. I couldn't believe it. These are actually wonderful. We carry everything, unbleached paper. All of these products can then be tossed in with the compostable organic material. Everything that we sell can be taken to a farm and then will be dirt in 30 to 60 days. If you look back beyond, it's maybe small in the distance here, is a used vegetable oil filter. We'll soon have a biodiesel processor that we use to collect used vegetable oil from different restaurants around the city because it is a byproduct of the cooking process. We'll collect it, we'll turn it into fuel, we'll use it to power all of our trucks, and I'll get to drive around town smelling like French fries. We do have people that volunteer for certain events, but we do have people that are here all the time. But when we do work with events, when we volunteer our time, we also accept other volunteers to help us.
All these people are making sure that food is not wasted, whether that means feeding the hungry or turning our wasted food into compost. Positive ways to prevent food waste are happening all around us in Columbus, Ohio. Want to get involved? The opportunities are endless.